The rise of social media seems to be a great threat to all kinds of more traditional media businesses, from network television to search engines. But what impact will the rise of Facebook and Twitter have on the consumer electronics world? Will anyone like gadgets in a social media-driven future? Let's head to our Bloomberg West editor-at-large, Corey Johnson, for more. That is an interesting question you pose, Corey.
Well, indeed, Emily, social media, it's in the ethereal world, the virtual world. How will the physical world of tech gadgets respond? Well, joining me now from Washington, D.C., Consumer Electronics Association CEO Gary Shapiro. Gary, are gadget makers oblivious to social media?
Not at all. In fact, we're partnered. I represent 2,200 companies, and as you know, we produce the International CES, the largest consumer technology show in the world, every January in Las Vegas. And you know, all those companies you mentioned, all the social media companies, they're members of ours, they're partners, they're part of what we do. We're working with them on legislation in Washington, and plus we're working always in partnerships. That's who we are, what we do, and it's a symbiosis. The fact is, without these products, whether they're tablets or televisions or computers or smartphones, social media can't exist, and vice versa.
Yes, we talked about this in Vegas, although what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But I wonder, if certain gadgets, I don't know if it's going to be a certain kind of smartphone or a certain kind of tablet, will really orient themselves to being a better user experience on Twitter or on Facebook, because we haven't seen that yet.
Well, what we're seeing, obviously, is that different devices have different strengths in terms of their ability to serve various applications. Yes, we have not found one device yet which is really good with every application and every social media, but we're going in that direction. And that, it's a very competitive atmosphere out there, and the devices that could have those partnerships, that could show the applications, they'll be the winners. But we have to remember, if we talk 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, the software and the applications which were hot then, even the search engines, some of them don't exist anymore. In the consumer products world, I think a brand name is a little more important. A consumer is investing in something called Apple or Sony. They trust the brand.
It's interesting because, when you look at these companies that have just gone public or just about to go public, whether it's Groupon or Zynga and now Facebook, they have virtually no revenues in the mobile sphere. And yet we look, just on our very show today, we've been talking over and over again about all these companies. The next thing is mobile. The biggest thing is mobile. The end of the PC, post-PC era, it's all about mobile. Do you think that mobile is where it's at in terms of the future of consumer electronics? Are there going to be more different developments, not just smart tablets, smartphones?
Yes and no. I think in this digital revolution, we are still infants, just out of the crawling stage. We have a long way to go. There's so many technologies coming forward, whether it be robotics or driverless cars, the internet in the car, new sorts of screens, things which learn from your actions, sensing devices, nanotechnology. Right. There's so much coming that it's a very exciting time for any innovator. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time where anyone in the world could start a company virtually overnight with a broadband and a computer. So we are doing great, and stay tuned for the ride.
Well, to that, let me talk about the kind of companies you can't start overnight or even in a short amount of money with a short amount of money or time, which is televisions. We've seen a downturn for the first time in a long time in the sales of flat panel televisions, HD TVs, at the same time that we're hearing about rumors about an Apple TV startup. When we were at Vegas, we talked about all these new TVs, these OLED TVs, these super skinny TVs. Do you see that as an era as a place for a lot of innovation right now?
Absolutely. It's incredible. I was meeting with someone, a startup today, who they have a new type of screen, and they have more orders than they can know what to do with. They're just trying to build up to scale. So there's room for entrepreneurs there. What we've seen, though, for the first time, this phenomenal explosion because of HD TV. It's slowed down a little bit as we transition to OLED and 4K and connected TV. It's tough to maintain a 30 million a unit pace in the U.S. So we're going to see, what we expect to see is an upturn in about 2014, 2015 as OLED, connected TV, 4K TV develop. But in the meantime, the way we look at the world is just not by TVs. We look at it in the sense of devices. And you obviously have tablets, you have e-books, you have smartphones, and you have televisions. Those are 4 different types of screen, and there's evolution occurring in each rather rapidly. And consumers' disposable income, a large part of it, is increasingly going to these devices and connected services.
All right, Gary Shapiro, CEA President and CEO, joining us from D.C. Emily?